for joining this launch of our Certified Security Operations Center Analyst course. And I'm going to run you through everything that you will need to know, hopefully within the next 30 minutes or so, and ultimately give you all the information that you need to be able to reach out to your clients and sell this course. Slides are not working. There we go. So some of you may recognize my voice. I've done a few presentations to you in recent months. My name is Philip Blake. I'm the Regional Director for Europe at EC Council, and I'll be running through this Certified SOC Analyst agenda for you. So we'll start off with what is a SOC. Run through some of the critical SOC requirements. We'll then delve a little bit into the EC Council Certified SOC Analyst course and the sort of various overviews of the course and some of the more exciting bits around promotions and pricing that I know you are all expecting with this launch, and a little bit of housekeeping at the end. And hopefully we shall have time for some questions with you as well. So I think it's best to kick off with sort of a formal definition of what is a SOC. And we can see here that it's a SOC plans, implements, and executes threat detection strategies to detect and respond to threats that one couldn't prevent otherwise. So if we go down a more informal route of what a SOC is, it's essentially a facility that houses an information security team that is constantly detecting, constantly analyzing, and constantly responding to cyber incidents on the sort of ongoing basis. And SOCs do this utilizing a number of technology solutions and a set of robust processes as well. And basically a SOC proactively hunt for and eliminate threats before they become a serious reputational and financial issue for the particular company. Now, what do these processes look like? What does this sort of system that SOCs utilize look like? So this is a typical SOC workflow. And there are six stages to this typical SOC workflow. The first is obviously to collect data, and so that data and activity from various devices, it's collected and sent to the SIM, or for those of you who aren't sort of particularly well versed on this, it's a security information and event management system. Then, along with that logged data, it's ingested by the SIM, along with flow data, threat data, and contextual data. And once this is all inputted and ingested by the SIM, it looks for the correlations and anomalies using information, all of this information that has been fed in. We then pushed on to sort of the more human element. So we have the validation aspect, which is down to the SOC to analyze and to look through the indicators of compromise, so IOCs, as they are known, and validate the incidents and prioritize them accordingly. Validation is the first step of this incident response feedback loop. Once incidents have been validated, they are then pushed, and their incidents of compromise are then reported and escalated accordingly. A response is derived, and so we have the incident response team are escalating who the incidents are escalated to, and they action the necessary activity and arbitration for that particular incident. And then ultimately, so that we learn from the process, it is all documented for audit and future reference purposes. So there are various functions to SOCs, and they monitor and triage events. And what do we mean by triage? The triage element is critical. Basically, it is the most imminent threats to the organization must be prioritized in order for them to be remitted by the incident response team as quickly and as effectively as possible. And we come on to a couple of examples where that hasn't necessarily been successfully done. And this particular, we have there are SOC analysts of 4 levels, but this particular course we are looking at level 1 SOC analysts and level 2 SOC analysts. So a level 1 SOC analyst is proactively hunts for high priority security alerts, and a level 2 SOC analyst will delve deeper into that, into the level 1 findings and verify to pass on to the particular incident response team. Now, why is this threat detection strategy needed? And again, we'll come on to those examples shortly. But we know that attack vectors and threats are becoming ever more sophisticated. We know that cyber weapons exist. We know that state-sponsored disruption exists, and we have shown quotes over the past that have showcased how unprepared someone like the US military, who have pumped billions of dollars into their cyber defenses, how unready they feel to deal with cyber attacks. And ultimately what it boils down to is that perimeter protection isn't enough. You need a team to be constantly hunting for these threats. And organizations must operate as if they have already been breached to ensure that they can dig out these threats and deal with them and respond to them as quickly and as effectively as possible. And this is quite a harrowing statistic that 56% of respondents to a particular survey felt that they were unlikely or highly unlikely that their organization would be able to detect a sophisticated cyber attack. Now, if we look at some of the case studies, we have 2 case studies for you today. The first is that of the NASA Jet Propulsion Lab. So the NASA Jet Propulsion Lab was breached, and the analysis of following the analysis of the breach, they found that it was the weaknesses in their incident response and threat hunting practices that limited their response efforts. If we move on to sorry, excuse me. The various weaknesses, they did not have staff a 24/7 SOC. Ultimately, their asset inventory and database was incomplete and inaccurate. If you don't have a handle on all of the assets that are existing within your inventory, you are quite clearly not going to be able to cover off all of the threat attempts and all of the assets that are being potentially threats to your organization. And ultimately, the weaknesses in their security control system led to sort of security problem log tickets. So if we take a look at all of the weaknesses that were came out from this NASA lab attack, it's what it shows is that there was no direction. There was ultimately very little understanding of what needed to be done, and very little threat hunting that came out of they incorporated into their existing processes. There was very recently a large phishing scam also. And I'm sure a number of you will recognize that, yes, and a couple of these names: Cognizant, Wipro, Capgemini. And ultimately, what we can derive from the example of all of these organizations sort of falling victim to a very sophisticated phishing attack is that the companies which mitigated the risk were the likes of Slalom, the likes of Capgemini. Their 24-hour round-the-clock SOCs were able to detect, alert, and prevent the threat from escalating any further, which is slightly more than the likes of Wipro can say. Wipro, on the other hand, they didn't really have such luck. It's reported that Wipro's the trusted networks and systems that Wipro were running, they were being used to launch cyber attacks against their own customers, which obviously, being a billion-dollar IT company, is not something that you want to deal with in terms of the financial damage and also the reputational damage to your organization. But currently, the security operations centers are facing a number of challenges, and it boiled down to the lack of manpower, the understanding of tools and escalation processes, and also a lack of direction for the internally for the particular SOC analysts. Previously, the book has not been written on the direction that should be taken. An EC Council is sort of taking a stand, and we're throwing our hat in the ring as to which direction we feel that should go. And we'll come on to a little bit more on that later. We all know that we are all well aware that there is a skill shortage as far as the cybersecurity industry is concerned. And if we look at, it only takes a quick Google, a quick look at some information shortages, some information pages, some news pages, Computer Weekly and the Information Age here that showcase that security operation analysis have a shortage of technical skills, and ultimately, it is widespread across the industry, and it is another area of cybersecurity that needs to be addressed with sophisticated and high-level training for the various individuals and for SOC analysts across the board. So it's not just it's not just sort of at the industry level that it's being that an employee is falling up short, but in terms of where these skills should start to be implemented at high school, there are gaps, and obviously we roll out EC Council are addressing the earlier years with our academic program, but we can see that, and I know that I've in my conversations and lecture, so my webinars to you previously, that I've run utilizing tools this particular incident is for the USA. I know Indeed is a global company. Please go on to indeed.co.uk if you're in the UK. Go onto your various job sites and have a look who is looking for SOC analysts, and to look at the data which comes up. But in this particular US search, there's over 1,200 job opportunities and only 3 internships in terms of, and so there is a huge shortage and a huge demand for these for SOC analysts, and ultimately it is something that must be addressed. So please go do look at your markets and see how they compare to these slides, and ultimately you can utilize this slide deck as well, which will be available on Aspen afterwards. So it brings us to the main event, which is the introduction of the Certified SOC Analyst course. As ever, we have gone above and beyond. We have gone to the market, we have gone to CISOs, we have gone directly to security operations centers, and we have built out a course based on all of that feedback and all of that market research that we have done. And ultimately, we have built out this course for a market that has until now been lacking direction. So with the course bears the stereotypical EC Council hallmarks, and we have hands-on labs, we have comprehensive courseware, and we have additional reading materials for the wider context and progressive learning. It is our ambition that SOCs no longer have to suffer from this lack of manpower, from this lack of understanding, or ultimately lack of direction, and that is exactly what we're addressing in this course, to ensure that we improve their knowledge base, and that we improve their hands-on ability to deliver the key skills which are needed for this particular role. So what is the target audience for our SOC analyst course, and where in particular does it sit within the EC Council portfolio? So it sits at the intermediate level. So what are the sort of prerequisites? Who are we targeting this course at? We're looking at network administrators, network engineers, generally anyone with some way, shape, or form of networking experience should be looking to sit the Certified SOC Analyst course. It's not just for existing SOC analysts, and we talk about sort of, if we look at the existing SOC analysts to begin with, we're talking about the lack of direction that there is, but in terms of the existing in terms of sort of the existing material out there and content and processes which which SOCs are trying to follow. But it's not just for the, if you reach out to your existing security operations centers, reach out to the clients, your clients there. But also we're looking at, so if we're looking at that, look at that B2B approach, go to them, showcase the course to them, and tell them about this great hands-on course that you have, and that can sort of ultimately sort of upskill their individuals to sort of give them that direction that they need, and also sort of implement the processes and carry out the processes which are so important for SOCs to have. It's also for aspiring SOC analysts. So I suppose this is more from a B2C perspective, an individual who comes from a networking background, who comes from some way, shape, or form of the network building, is capable of sort of transitioning into this world of cybersecurity, utilizing the triage skills, learning the process in order that SOCs need to utilize in order to mitigate the risks and push on to their incident response team. Those are the sorts of individuals we're looking at. So there is both a B2B approach for you and also a B2C approach for you. As ever, with a number of our ATC Council courses, we map to the NICE framework. In particular, for this course, it is the cyber defense analysis side of things, and yes, we also the way that we have the course outline and also the labs, and so we cover off those. We cover off the ROCs, we cover off logging, we cover off SIMs, and again, with every EC Council course, we have a corresponding lab for each of those modules, so that not only are they getting the knowledge transfer that is necessary from the courseware and the processes and having the processes embedded in them, but they are also getting that hands-on approach to be able to sort of physically do in a safe environment and learn the skills that they will need to utilize in a live SOC environment. And we also talk we also have the additional materials. So we have the courseware, we have the labs, and we also want to improve on and have them progressively learn. So we've run through various user cases, audit events, and also SIM deployments as well. In terms of course prerequisites, it's anyone who has a sort of very who has the core concepts of networking, maybe they might have the Certified Network Defender, or also is involved in, we're looking at IT managers, those sorts of individuals. They would be the particular individuals that you are looking to approach with this course. Please do go out there, reach out to your clients, delve through your databases, and make sure that you streamline with all the sort of marketing collaterals with EC Council, and look and push this out to your client base there, because this is something which, given the size of the market and the demand in the market for SOC analysts, it is something that we envisage will certainly give you a huge boost in your candidate and delegate numbers. In terms of course information, it's a 3-day course, or 24 hours. The sorts of deliveries, a number of partners on here will be instructor-led, but to our resellers on both iWeek and iLearn, I believe we do have all 3 models of delivery. So do go out to your clients, utilize those the flexibility elements of having both your in-class on course all the way down to onto the online learning. In terms of the exam, I know the number of you, all these materials will be available on Aspen. I believe it's from the 6th of August that they will be available. The duration is 3 hours, 100 questions, and a passing grade of 70% for the exam. In terms of pricing, so for academia, iClass, and instructor-led training, the price will follow ECIH. And in terms of the promotions that we have for this particular course, it's there's a 20% discount on Certified SOC Analyst kits. Deadline for the promotion is the 24th of September. And also, we know that you will need your instructors to be upskilled to be able to deliver this certification. So we have a instructor promo of only $99 for both courseware, labs, and exam voucher for them to upskill themselves so that they can deliver the course as soon as possible as after launch. In terms of sort of important timelines, so obviously we have the program launch today, ATC program promo period 24th of September. So please do take down all of these all of these dates in terms of upskilling your CEIs and also ensuring that you go to market. Please do go to your relevant country managers, work with them. They will deliver some sales training to you. They will deliver marketing. They'll help you build out marketing plans and go to markets. They will even do more further webinars with you so that you can sort of reach out and push roll this course out to your client base. In terms of sort of when the marketing collaterals and materials, and you will be able to place orders with us, it'll be from the 6th of August. So please stay tuned on Aspen and do get in contact with your relevant country managers and distributors so that you can get quotes and pricing from them. So we obviously want to take any questions, we want to take comments and any feedback, and please do go to your respective country managers. But I will, I think, invite my panel, who I believe are on this, so that we can start answering any questions. I think there are a few, but I will hand over to Mia, and we can maybe take a look through the questions.